So here's your home buyer's guide so you can understand the steps necessary in order to buy your home, but at the same time know what you're likely to qualify for. I'm going to give you a calculator that you can basically have an idea of what it is that you can qualify for based on your income as well as your debt. That being said, let's dive straight in. This is courtesy of the Ridge Lending Group, where this calculator and this information came from. I am a licensed realtor in my state as well, so we understand the process. And for many people who have not gotten in position to qualify for their home, we can help them get there. That being said, purchasing a house is a significant financial decision that requires careful planning and research. The following are some tips to help you navigate the process and make the best purchase for you and your family, because this is a big deal, a big decision. What I like to do is have people to think about their home being an investment. And when you think about it that way, you're not always trying to overpay. You're not always trying to buy what you feel is your end all be all. You're oftentimes trying to buy and get a deal, but also position yourself to where you might be able to buy your home with some equity or in an area that has potential based on certain factors, so that in the future it's still an area that people want to reside. So the first thing you need to do is determine your budget. This is important, and I'm gonna go give you a calculator, and I want it to be interactive, so give me some comments on if this fits your scenario, or give some examples of what your scenario is. That way I can do different examples that basically lay out what your example is, so you can have a better idea. There are calculators like this that are available, but this one I think is a great one. And if you want me to do some examples that provide some education to go along with it, I'll be happy to do so. So before you begin looking for a house, it's essential to determine how much you can afford to spend. This will help you narrow down your search and avoid overspending, which is what many people do. Consider factors such as your income, your credit score, and outstanding debts or loans. If you have credit score issues, it'll be a link below so you can get access to our free credit class, amongst other things. But when they say narrow down your search to avoid overspending, sometimes people try to max out what they can afford. I wouldn't recommend getting the height of what you can afford. Still try to go a little lower. That way, if anything was to happen, you still position yourself to be living well below your means, in the sense that the monthly expenses is not something that's going to hurt you, even if certain things took place that required you to lose a form of income, just as an example. So let's talk about the budget. So how can we tap into the budget of knowing what is a good fit for you? So I'm going to go to these resources and go to the affordability calculator, and I do a couple of examples, but right now the example is a person who has an annual income of $70,000. They have monthly debt of $250, which most people have more than that, but we'll just use this as an example. And they're putting down a down payment of $20,000. In this example, it says if they calculate their payment, it tells them that they can afford a house up to $325,000, $316.32, and their per month payment will likely be $1,850. Of course, things vary, and it depends on your area, other factors as well. And then if you look below, you see all of the other things that go into the home, like taxes, hazard insurance, mortgage insurance, HOA dues is zero on this one. And then the P&I. So basically understanding all of those factors, because the bulk of it is going to be the P&I, basically your principal and interest on your home. Now, let's say, for example, you're someone who has a different situation. Let's say your annual income is $100,000, just for sake of this example. So let's say it's $100,000, and let's say your monthly debt is actually $950. And let's say that you're going to put down a down payment of $10,000. Let's say you're putting down a down payment of $10,000, and let's calculate that payment. So even though that person makes more, the fact that they have more debt and they're putting down a smaller down payment, they qualify for a similar amount, and their monthly payment is going to be more because the debt to income ratio threw it off. They're putting down less, so their monthly payment is likely to be $2,000 a month. Now, I know many people are paying this for their rent, So sometimes people don't mind paying this for their home. But in some cases, you can actually get a home for less than this. So even though it says you can afford a $332,000 home, what if you found a home that was $250,000, depending on your area? Of course, we're not talking California where it's $1 million for a 1 bedroom. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about most areas where you can possibly find a home that fits what you need in this range. Consider going lower and positioning yourself to have something that you personally can have some equity in upon purchase or pretty soon after purchasing. So these are just some examples. Now let's get back into the list of the home buyer checklist and things you need to understand about buying a home. So let's go back into the home buyer's guide. So we address determining your budget. So those are just some examples of your budget. Now, number 2, get pre-approved for a mortgage. Because when you get pre-approved, now you know a little bit more detail about what you can afford. And it's even better to do a certified pre-approval, because now that includes some specifics about your debt to income ratio, your income, your credit score. You can pretty much take that and know that you can get that amount of money within that same time frame that you got, the certified pre-approval, and now you can go house shopping because you've already determined that you can qualify for whatever it is that you're looking for that fits that pre-approval. So once you have a general idea of your budget, it's a good idea to get pre-approved for a mortgage. This will give you a better idea of how much you can borrow, and it will also make you a more attractive buyer to sellers. If they know you have a pre-approval, then they know, okay, this person's serious. They're not just window shopping. And then if they know you have a certified pre-approval, they're like, hey, let's talk. Let's do business. We can close today, pretty much. But that's just the fact of the matter. A person who's pre-approved is more serious because you've already done the prerequisites in order to position yourself to buy the home. Third, research the market. So before you start looking at houses, it's crucial to research the real estate market in the area you're interested in. Look at prices of similar homes. Consider factors such as the neighborhood, schools, amenities, things that you may be looking for. So look at all of these things. And what I like to do is basically say that people should consider looking at what's happening in the area. Do you see potential in this area to where you feel like people may still be interested in this home or this zone or this area in the next 10 years, 20 years? If so, then it may be worthy of a buy, because if you're in an area that's kind of on the decline, who knows if your property will go down in value just due to that alone. If you're in a crime-ridden area, then definitely that brings the property value down. However, if you're in a path of growth, that's a whole nother conversation. There's potential there. No guarantees, but potential there. So research the market. Look for the things that you feel you're looking for, and consider the things that I just said that can position you to have some equity in your home, to position your home to still be of value or sought after for many years to come. Then that is what you should consider doing, because at the end of the day, it's a big purchase. You don't want it to depreciate in value like that. You'll rather it appreciate and still be a high demand area for years to come. Of course, you never know for sure, but consider those things. Number 4, hire a real estate agent. And they saying an engine just because you want to have a real estate agent that also has a team or some type of network or some type of toolbox that allows you to be in a position to get the best out of your home buying experience, and a network that can help you make sure that you are getting exposed to properties that may be listed publicly or may not be listed publicly. So you want a whole engine. So they basically describe it as a real estate agent can help you navigate the process and find the perfect home. They have access to listings that may not be available to the public, pretty much what I just said, and can help you negotiate the best deal. If you need help finding one, no big deal. We can get you connected. So this platform can get you connected. If you're in the Arkansas area, then of course we're realtors, but you can also work with anybody else in Arkansas. No pressure. If you want to come with us, great. If you already have somebody, great as well. But you just want to get connected with some of the people who you know or feel can help you the best. Then you position yourself to make an offer. Once you found a house that meets your needs, it's time to make an offer. Your real estate agent will help you determine a fair price to offer based on comparable sales in the area and the condition of the house. Be prepared to negotiate, as the seller may counter your offer. So you might have something that you found and you like it and you just don't like the price. so you're willing to pay a little less, or you want to offer a little bit less. Or you may have found a property that you absolutely love, but you know that it's competition. You know that it may be 10 other people who are interested in this home, and they may be pretty serious. You might want to shoot a little bit higher. So it might be a house that's 300,000. You might want to say, hey, I'm serious. I'm willing to pay 305,000. The fact that you offered more might position your offer to be more appealing, more received by the seller, and make them accept your offer if you're ready to close in a timely manner. Now that you have a pre-approval, and preferably a certified pre-approval, then they're really going to take you serious. But it's all about making an offer and negotiating based on whether it's something that you absolutely love and you want to offer more if it's competition, or you want to offer a little less based on other factors as well. Number 6, get a home inspection. This is key because you just never know. It's always good to get a home inspection. It's a little different for certain homes, like if it's brand spanking new, but still oftentimes highly encouraged due to the fact that sometimes they cut corners with new builds as well. A lot of times, sometimes you'll see these homes that are older but are more structurally sound than the new home, because the new home builders were basically trying to cut costs. Some of the older homes were just made with more solid quality materials. It's just how it was. They weren't making a lot of the fake stuff or the soft stuff or the things that are, fragile as they are now. So before finalizing a purchase, it is essential to have a professional home inspection. This will help you identify any potential issues with the house that may need to be addressed before closing. Yes, it costs money for the home inspection. It varies depending on where you are. However, it can be the very thing that saves you a ton. And sometimes people go through not getting a house inspection, and because they didn't get a home inspection, it cost them tens of thousands of dollars when they could have paid a few hundred to get the home inspection. So it's all about the perspective. Number 7, understanding the closing process. So the closing process can be complex and time consuming. Make sure you understand all of the terms of the sale, including any contingencies and deadlines. Here's the final breakdown of this process. So number 1, review and sign all legal documents pertaining to the purchase, including the purchase agreement, mortgage documents, and transfer of ownership documents. These documents will outline the terms and conditions of the sale, and it is important to understand them fully before signing. So it's okay to ask questions. Don't feel like you're bothering or being a burden. Ask the questions. If you're not sure, ask the questions, so that way you at least have an understanding to a degree. Disperse closing costs. So basically, which may include items such as title insurance, appraisal fees, and legal fees. These costs are typically due at closing and can be a significant expense. So it's important to budget accordingly. Carefully review all documents prior to signing and seek clarification or guidance from your real estate agent, attorney, or mortgage lender as needed. It is important to understand all the terms and conditions of the sale, including any contingencies and deadlines, to avoid any misunderstandings later. Conduct the final walkthrough of the property to ensure that it is in the same condition as when you first viewed, and that any agreed upon repairs or contingencies have been met, because there might have been some things that you say, I want this done, that done, and you want to make sure those things have been met. This is your last chance to check the property before closing and make sure it is in the condition you expect. Very important. And number 5, upon completion of the closing process, the title of the property will be transferred to you, and you officially become the owner or the buyer of the residence. This marks the end of the buying process, and you can now move into your new home. So these are the steps. If you need help with taking your credit to the next level, there should be some information down below. If you need to understand what you might qualify for, let me know in the comments, and I don't mind doing a video periodically that gives different examples and adds additional insight that may not have been covered in this video. Mr. Smith, signing out. Salute.